Hi, I'm Sonia from The Uncertain, and I am the singer.
Hi, I'm Tyler. I play bass.
I've been everywhere, man, looking for someone who can please.
Well, the way that I got introduced to music was from a very, very young age. My grandma was a singer, and my dad was very, very passionate about music and about putting his children into music as well. So I actually started out with classical music and then went on to study like different forms of music as well. I was a musical theater kid when I was younger, and then Tyler over here made me a rocker chick.
I was like, yo,
Classically trained?
Yeah, I'm classically trained. And it was originally in piano, and then I studied classical vocal as well, so like opera. And that kind of turned into musical theater as well. And now, rock metal.
Great route to have though, because you have to know theory for classical.
Yeah, yeah. Also, it's just
and
like
then I told her, you're not going to get no bitches doing this. So, we rock. And then we started doing rock music. And then,
True,
look at us now.
True, I was very lame when I did musical theater. I'm not going to lie. Was crazy.
No, but I got into music when I was like, since I'm a kid, as real as I can remember. My dad was a musician, and he went to school for music. And then he had a kid, so he couldn't do music anymore. So now he like kind of lives vicariously through me. But yeah, he grew up on like early metal and early rock, and like kind of influenced me. I've been playing ever since I'm like 10 years old. And I guess what got me into playing bass was, I'll never forget, like we were sitting in the car, me and my dad, and he put on a Red Hot Chili Peppers song. And like I kind of heard the bass, I didn't know what it was at the time. And I was like, yo, this is really cool. And then I picked the bass after that, and then I've been playing ever since.
Tease me, love me all night long. I've been everywhere, man, looking for.
So how The Uncertain came together, it kind of started with us. So we went to the same college, and I like didn't really know Tyler. And then one day he walks into our computer science class, and he's like, "Oh, I know you." And he just kind of like sat down, started talking to me, cheated off me the entire semester.
I only passed college because of her. I swear to God. I would have never passed college without Sonia.
Literally. And then one day he was like, "Oh, I heard from one of your friends that you sing." And at the time I would have never called myself a singer. And I was like, "Yeah, kind of." And he's like, "Do you want to be part of a rock band?" I'm like, "Sure. Okay." He's like, "I know this kid." Apparently he met him at like a driving course, and it was Chris. And they met at the driving course because Chris was wearing some like obscure metal t-shirt.
Yeah.
And they became really good friends, and that kind of brought us together.
Yeah, that's how I met Sonia in college, and I met Chris, our drummer, when I was like 15, 16 in driver's ed, which was like a driving course. And then he had like an obscure rock shirt. I don't remember what shirt it was. And like that summer when I was like 15, me, him, and this other kid, Mike, we started like a punk band in his backyard called The Posers. And we were a band for like one summer. Me and Chris kind of stopped talking after that, and we just played one show. And then I hit him up again in college. I had the itch to do music. I was just kind of sick of being a business school kid. I was like, I want to be a rock star, like what I know I'm supposed to be doing. And so we just started jamming. I found Sonia, and then in college, and I don't think they realized how serious we were going to take it when we first did it. Like they thought we were just jamming in his basement. But the whole time I knew we were going to do this for a living, and like I took it very seriously. And then we kind of just kept at it, and now here we are. Basically, that's that same summer that we started jamming. 2019, we kind of started. So like I met her in college. We started jamming that summer. And we couldn't think of a name. And it was kind of a joke because we couldn't think of a name. I was like, let's just call it The Uncertain. Ha ha ha, we don't know what we're going to call ourselves. And I realized like, yo, this name's really cool. And it kind of molded into like a reflection on like society and like where we are as people, like certainty of like what's around us and how we live in this world, our place in the world. And so it kind of molded into something way bigger when I first intended it. Kind of like everything in my life. It starts out as a joke and I take it really seriously. And then, we kind of I realized like, oh, this kind of like makes sense and it aligns with who I am as a person, who we are, and kind of like, how we present ourselves.
For you, babe. Looking for you, babe. Searching for you, babe.
When we first started, we were just kind of getting our bearings. That was my first actual band. Even though I've been playing music since 2011, that was my first, I guess my second band, if you want to call that first band my first band. But that was the first serious project. So we were just kind of figuring each other out. I really didn't know Sonia that well at the time. Like, we were just learning about each other, our influences. So we were just writing a bunch of stuff and like songs and figuring out how to work with each other, who we are, what we want to sound like, how we want to present ourselves. And I guess, it was just like it was a learning process. And then it took us a little while to write those songs. We were also all in college at the time, figuring things out, figuring our lives out. I knew I wanted to do music for a living, but I was just trying to figure out how to make that happen. So we had other, responsibilities in our life at the time. And then eventually we kind of just, COVID happened, the world shut down, everything slowed down, and we started writing our record, I guess, in 2020. And then, I guess, during COVID, we were like, together, we were passing college online and writing an album.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of how it took off, I guess, during COVID. You know?
Yeah, I think one of the big things was that when we originally started the band, we were honestly like part of a long distance relationship because
Chris was going to Berkeley in Boston, and then he was in Staten Island and I was in Brooklyn. Just we were all over the place, and it was really hard to come together. But when COVID happened, it was kind of a blessing in disguise, because through COVID, we were together all the time, we were making music all the time, and also we met our producer, Nora Omar, who's the best, and we still work with him to this day.
He's the unofficial fourth member.
Yeah, unofficial fourth member of the UNCRTN. We call him Daddy Nor because he's
You call him. Big Papa Nor out here. That's the man.
Yeah, he's literally like our music dad. And we kind of went with him, started writing, and then obviously things take a while. And by 2021, when we finally could start playing shows and stuff, we decided to release.
Yeah,
our
I
first
think it was definitely a stars kind of aligning thing. The whole band, realistically, I guess it's like life in general, like small little increments and small little experiences kind of stack up to where you are in life. And if Sonia had never stumbled into that class we were in, if I never walked into that driver's ed slot at that exact time, if I never met Nora when I did, like the band wouldn't have happened. So many little things had to have happened for this band to start, and I feel like that was kind of like my sign where it's like, okay, like, we should be doing this, you know what I mean?
Sonia might have mentioned it briefly, but I missed it. How did you come together with Nora? Where'd you meet them?
So another big influence of mine in music was my older sibling. I have a brother, his name's Mark. He's a couple years older than me, and he was a big influence on me growing up. I grew up in Staten Island, and a lot of local bands would just play like punk and metal shows in my backyard, and we were the house for shows. So everyone would play shows in my yard, play shows around the area. This old venue called The Cup. That was the hashtag bar. It closed, rest in peace. But it was a great spot where like all the bands would just play. And my brother was kind of like a liaison, or kind of like the manager of the music community. Everyone kind of went to him, went to all the shows. So I would just kind of tag along. Like I'd be like 14 stumbling into these venues I probably legally shouldn't have been in.
Mm-hmm.
And so through that, Nora's the same age as my brother, and they were good friends. So I just knew Nora since I was a kid. As I got older, so I started taking music seriously. I was looking for someone to help me produce. And I remembered him. I hit him up, and we just kind of started working together. But it was through like my brother's relationships that I was able to explore.
Awesome. What does your brother play?
My brother doesn't do music. He's not actually. He doesn't play the music. He's just like a music buff. He loves music, and I guess just like his love for music as a fan, it's kind of like he kind of influenced me growing up. So I was always playing music, and he never actually did. But he always took me out to shows. Like he would be like, let's go to Boston, let's go to Connecticut. We just go to these random metal shows and punk shows and basements, and like that kind of really influenced. It was my first taste of like the music community and the rock and roll community, and it definitely influenced me. But yeah, it was his influence on just being a big fan of music.
For you, babe. Looking for you, babe. Searching for you, babe.
I mean, I've kind of been singing in front of audiences all my life. My parents and my family kind of threw me into it from a very young age. So I've always been performing. So honestly, the performing aspect never really gets me. But I don't know. Honestly, I just like get on stage and black out. I'm really nervous before I go on. But then once I'm on there, I'm just like, literally, I'm there.
Yeah, I'd say one thing about like being Sonia, while like we kind of connect with the music, is like I've always noticed we have the same approach to being on stage. It's always been natural for me. Like, since I'm a kid, like I like being on stage. I like performing. I love entertaining. Everything I do in my life, no matter what job it is, I'll find a way to be the one just entertaining everybody, because I just enjoy doing that. And so yeah, I've always just been very confident. I've always been a very confident person. I don't know. I'm big on the fact that like we have one life. It's like just live it how you want to live it. Who cares what anyone else thinks, how they perceive you, because that's their opinion. You know what I mean? And so I've always been a confident person. Stage was never really a problem for me.
Where have you been?
Choosing the bass was, I did start with guitar. My dad was a guitarist. I played guitar for like, I was like 10 years old for a couple months, and I hated it. I absolutely hated it. He tried getting me a teacher. I just wasn't doing it. And then, like I said, I heard Flea playing bass, Chili Pepper song, and I was like, this is way cooler. For me, I just felt like it aligned with me more. So I started playing bass, and I gravitated towards bass way more. I mean, I play a lot of instruments now to like write songs, but I'm a bassist. You know what I mean?
'Cause I never see you around. Are you hiding?
Our biggest message with our music is our whole approach towards music. They want to hear a record is being in control of yourself and your life. And this new record we have coming out, it's an upcoming EP called Machine. And on that EP, we're we're explaining a story about someone who separates people that no longer serve them and go and find themselves who they want to be in the world without anyone else's judgment. That's a big thing on how we live our lives. We realize, like, you have one life. That's all you have is the one life that you live, and it's up to you to decide how you want to live that without anyone else dictating the moves you make and how you are as a person. So the deeper message of this EP is, like, just at the root of it, remember to live your life, be yourself, and, like, that's kind of how we approach music in our lives in general.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of always had this mantra in mind, and with our first singles, well, our new music isn't out yet, but our old songs kind of teased that a little bit. We were obviously really trying to figure out who we were as a band, but that background noise was always there.
EP coming out this year?
So
Well,
the
we're releasing everything as singles,
yes,
and then we're gonna put it all on an EP because we have 4 songs, and we kind of want them all to have
Like-
their own life. Yeah. Because we worked really hard on them. We worked so hard on the visuals. We worked so hard to absolutely perfect them, and we just don't want anything to, like, go under the radar. We want the story to be fully told and fully paid attention to throughout the whole rollout. So
yeah, each single really stands on its own as its own project. It's a concept EP, and each single has a story to tell, and together they tell one larger story, but each song on their own is their own story that I want people to, like, kind of digest.
yeah.
I do love all the songs, and I cannot pick one that I like more than the other, but I will say this, the first single coming out off it, it's called Memory, and when I originally wrote that song and brought, like, the concept of it to the band, and it was just in a time in my life where I was going through a lot of things. I was changing as a person. I was figuring things out. I saw a lot of things around me were kind of falling to the wayside, and I was willingly letting them burn so I can rise from that and, you know, realize who I am as a person. And so that song is kind of the backbone of the EP and the story. It's just basically on the surface level, it's about escaping things that no longer serve you and realizing, like, you want to be your own person and find yourself in this world without anyone else dictating who you're going to be and what you are to do. And so, like, that single Memory kind of reflects where we all were at that time and what I learned and what I came out of through that. So I would definitely say Memory is a big one. It's also the first song of my own song that I ever, like, got emotional to. I'll never forget, we got the first mix back, and I kind of cried a little bit. I was like, damn, like, that does tell the story of where I was in my life. And I feel like if I can connect so much to something that I wrote, I feel like when people hear it, like, and they can get that deeper message and they can connect to it in any way, I feel like it's going to be something emotional that people can connect to.
Memory is a really good one because, to me, it kind of signifies, like, being in a relationship, whether it's, like, with an entity, whether it's with another person, whether it's a friendship, where you kind of feel like, you know, without you in the works, in the process, it would be nothing, and you kind of feel, like, toxically attached to the situation by being in this routine, but and thinking about, like, what would happen if I broke out of it. So that's kind of one of my favorites, but in terms of, like, a really fun one that I'm excited for is actually the last song, which I'm so sorry, like, that's coming out so much later down the line, but it's called Bad For Me, and it's kind of like a song about making deals with the devil, and it has a lot of, like, churchy elements to it, which I think are really, really cool. I think a lot of people can really relate to those lyrics of, you know, you get into something, and whether it's a relationship or whether it's an entity or anything, and you're like, damn, this is absolutely horrible, but I still want to be a part of it because I'm so attached to it at this point. So it's kind of like a full circle from Memory to Bad For Me, which I think is kind of really sick.
That's good. Really kind of shows those two songs. Because one song's like the start of it, and one song's kind of the end of it. And like I said, it's a concept EP, so I just want people to, like, sit with each song, and then as a grouping of all the songs together, like, listen to them and kind of see how the story unfolds.
Yeah.
I looked at this like it's like a mini series. That's like what a concept EP or album kind of is. Like, each piece tells a story, so you don't really want to skip and watch episode 3 before episode 1. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's why I'm rolling out the way I am, so each person can digest each episode, and then at the end, like, watch them all together like a marathon run, and kind of, I guess, take what you want out of it. Take what you want out of the story.
So you mentioned the first one's coming out in October?
Yep, it should be coming out late October. We're playing a huge show. We're hosting our own Halloween show. Kind of be like a single release show, Halloween event. We're doing some cool stuff in October, so definitely be on the lookout for that. I think for me, everything I do in my life is I find a way to make it something creative and artistic. I've always just been a very artistic person, and I gravitate towards just any form of art. Like I grew up doing martial arts. That is a form of art in its own. I grew up with music as well, and like those are different forms of art that I gravitated towards to express myself. I think also a big thing in my life is I'm very into philosophy, and there's a lot of philosophical elements in our music too. One of our biggest mantras is memento mori, memento vivere. It means like remember to live because remember you're going to die. And it's kind of just a mantra for our life and the EP as well, where it's like we only have one life. Remember that one day you can die tomorrow for all you know, and it's best to remember to live the life you have because you never know when your time's going to run out. So I think philosophy is a big inspiration for me. It keeps me grounded in this crazy world we live in music and chasing art. It just reminds me like it's we have one life. It could always be worse. Just appreciate what you do have. Every little thing that you do have will be gone tomorrow. So I would say for me, philosophy is like a big influence on how I live my life and how I approach art. Trying to understand, I guess, the world in whatever way we can, you know?
Honestly, I'm going to go with a little bit of kind of like a different answer.
Sudoku.
To me, he always makes fun of me because I love Sudoku. Oh my God. Anyway, to me, honestly, it's working with other creatives. So like in every aspect of my life, I have all of these creative outlets. So like outside of music, I work in marketing and I work with so many different types of creatives, whether it's, you know, photographers, videographers, which I also work with in music, but like strategists, people who have kind of a different perspective on marketing, on art, on the way things should be perceived. And I love working with other people and seeing other people's perspectives because it kind of gives me kind of like creative inspiration through that. So just, you know, working with other people, I think, who inspire me and who, what?
Collaboration.
Yeah, collaboration is truly the one thing that inspires me most.
You guys are a powerhouse band. You have someone that's philosophical. My God, I'm messing up with that word today. And you have someone that's got the business marketing side of it. I mean, that's like untouchable there. You got everything from the lyrics being super like out there, telling a story, to the other person that knows how to like put this band on the forefront.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that. Like, yes, 2 days ago we were having a meeting. And we were kind of saying like we do a pretty damn good job as like the two of us. We run everything our band is done independent, like all the marketing, all the planning, like all the business end. For other artists who are in creative endeavors, you'll get it. Like there is a business end to it. And like we were kind of just like not patting ourselves in the back, but I was like, damn, like I feel like we are pretty good at putting our business plan together and executing. Because we've been putting this together for the last like 2 years. I was kind of looking at our rollout, our execution. We just released a cover song with our man Bad Mind, and we were kind of saying like, damn, our marketing plan is like to a degree it's working. People are receptive to like the product we're putting out there. And I think it's a testament to like how we prepared to put the music out there, and I guess our business school background to a degree. And I guess school did a little something for me. I don't know. All I think school did for me was I met Sonia. Other than that, college didn't do shit for me. But maybe I got a little something out of it through osmosis. Who knows?
Through osmosis. No, yeah, I always say like we all have our different kind of roles in the band, and it's like Chris is the production guy, he's the music guy, like he's the one who presses the buttons, and
she holds it down.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
There's things I could never even think of doing musically. So
yeah, and it's Tyler kind of does all the like back end businessy stuff and like is really good at coming up with the philosophical aspects of everything, which then we discuss together and we flourish it. And then I'm kind of more marketing, like how we envision ourselves from the outside perspective.
You Gen Z'd me a little bit.
I do want to mention that we do have a really great team of people that we have met through each other, through just like playing shows, through the internet, through everybody who have taught us so much, which is another kind of like piggyback off of the collaboration aspect. And it's like our team is so amazing and we absolutely love working with them.
I've always said it too. It's like people have these stories of like nightmares in the music industry, but we've been very fortunate. Everyone we've worked with they've been friends that have become like family. They've been like coworkers that have become friends. I guess we've just been very lucky for the people we've worked with that have. A lot of them have stuck around with us since 2019. We're kind of with the same crew of people that we work with since the beginning. We have the same dudes that always come together and help us collaborate, help us with our rollout plans, with our music, and I'm grateful for the team behind the scenes that helps us.
Yeah, because we'd totally be absolutely nothing without them. They've taught us everything. We just kind of like internalized it and like made it a bigger thing.
As someone that's never made music, but has heard from a lot of artists about it. I feel like the horror stories you're saying comes when people try to get in that corporate world. I feel like being independent and just letting things happen as they're supposed to happen is kind of the course you have to take. If you're chasing that corporation and that record deal and that next distribution deal, like you get caught up in that hustle of like, okay, this is a career. It's not your passion anymore.
Definitely walking the line of that too. Like you said, with that last sentence, this career versus passion. Like it is my passion. It's what I know I'm supposed to be doing with my life is entertaining. It's music. But with that, like I want to do with my life, so it is a career to a degree too. So it's learning how to walk that line of like, this is my livelihood. I want my livelihood, and this is like what I do as a passion because I know it's what I'm supposed to be doing. And so yeah, like I think walking that line of the business end and the musical end and the creative end, and kind of towing that line and mixing both ends is can be tough sometimes. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I think the business, the like corporation part is really interesting because it's like we would have, like I work in corporate. My day job is in corporate, so and in marketing, so I kind of see it from the other side. So that really helps us get that perspective, and also just the people that we've networked with and have met through doing all of this. Some of them have worked with labels. Some of them have, some of them currently are on labels, and whether that's a good experience or a bad experience, we take their experience and we just want to learn from it as much as possible and like see their mistakes, not just listen to what they're saying and not internalize it.
I'm not helpless on never signing a deal or having someone help us out. Like we've worked so hard together on our own doing this. I don't want to give my baby away to somebody else. Like we've done all the work already, and I don't want someone else to come along and just give us a little push and to get a piece of what we've worked so hard on creating, and not in an egotistical way, just in a way where it's like this is what we've created, and I want to put it out myself and the world see what I have to give without any outside influence or anything like that.
Yeah. Also, we feel that we just have enough resources where we can do this ourselves. Is it shedding at least 17 years off my life? Yes, but we're hoping it's all worth it in the end. And we kind of always say that even though we're independent, we kind of want to have that, like, we work for the industry perspective. We want to see how far we can take it. Where, like, I don't know if I should be saying this, but like, we want to say, we basically want to come off as like, oh, they're part of like a label. Like, we want to look like we're part of a label, but we're doing it ourselves,
And so put together, we'll have the perception that, like,
yeah, like
we work with this larger label, but it's just us,
Yeah,
like that's like our whole idea on like how we do things. It's like, dude, take control of your life. Like, you can do so much more than you think you can,
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad thing to say at all. I mean, it shows how much you care. Like you said, this is probably going to take years off your life. It's stressful. It's not easy to try and come across like that. You have to put in the work, and the fact that you're willing to put that much dedication in on your own shows how much this project means. It's not just a little side thing.
Yeah.
I think it's like I was saying before, it's testament to like everything in life. Though, like anything in life is going to take work. That's work. And work in life will take effort, and it's just how much you're willing to put in to like get the thing you want.
Essentially, we always love to do a cover for our live show. And one day we were just like, this was, not even thinking about marketing for our new EP or anything. This was so long ago. We were like, what new song should we do? Because we used to do I Write Sins, Not Tragedies. And everybody loved it. But
You can find that on YouTube somewhere of us doing
that
one's good.
But we used to do I Write Sins, Not Tragedies, but it was getting old. It hit a lot, and we wanted something that would hit the same way, where it's like everybody knows the song, but we were really inspired by Punk Goes Pop. So instead of it being the same genre, we kind of wanted it to be a completely different genre and see how we can turn that metal. And one day I was hanging out with one of my friends, and I was at a gay bar, and what's it called? Shout out the gays, because they started playing Where Have You Been by Rihanna, and I was like, yo, this would make a sick ass, like, Punk Goes Poppy cover. And I literally messaged Tyler and Chris at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, guys, what about Where Have You Been by Rihanna? And this is after literally weeks of arguing. Like, we were actually like beefing.
You always come with these stupid ass songs.
Because I would come up with pretty stupid ideas, but like, but
no one, pop songs that no one listens to. Like,
yeah, but I really love the idea of doing the Punk Goes Pop situation, of just completely genre bending. Like, I absolutely love that. So I messaged them and I'm like, yo, guys, like, what about Where Have You Been by Rihanna? And they're like, yo, actually, that's fucking sick. And one day I pull up and Tyler and Chris were like decided to meet up and work on it together, and I come at the end of the day, and in one day they had already built out the entire skeleton of it, and it sounded absolutely
shout out
insane.
Chris is he's a great producer.
Yeah.
He works super quick. So like when we bring him an idea, we typically churn out our ideas in like one day, the shell of it, and that shell usually sticks around till the end. Then we just build on it.
Yeah, they really ate with the production of that. And then I came in, put vocals on it, and we kind of like built it from there and then sent it off to
our boy Noor. And then Noor makes it 10 times better, and then we just work from there. So this cover, I think the first skeleton we wrote in like 2023. And then we kind of had it for a while. We didn't know what to do with it, so we were still like trying to finish this EP we were writing. So the cover was a way to introduce our new sound. So it was a way to, guess a gateway, if you will, to our next phase of music. And so we've been sitting on it for a little bit of a time now, and we kind of just wanted to freshen it up again. And so I knew Bad Mind for a little while, because soon I don't really remember when we first met. We think we played a Halloween show like 2 years ago together, and I saw him play a couple shows, and we kind of got closer. I was like, you want to like maybe like hop on the track? It's like we'll do like a collab release, and we kind of just started like writing it together, and we kind of meshed. We got really close really quick, and then it was kind of like a perfect situation to do with him. And then we kind of just worked on it for a while, did a lot of stuff, and realized like, damn, this sounds pretty good, so let's give it a full push. And so we kind of filmed the video, we filmed a bunch of content, and we kind of treated this song like it was like our own of it. We took the Rihanna song, like made it a Bad Mind Uncertain song, and we treated it like that, and it's going pretty well so far. And I'm grateful that people are really receptive to it. They love to take on it. Some people are like, oh, it's better than the original. Well, shout out Rihanna, you killed it, but that does feel good when people say that. And so yeah, it grew into something really, really cool. I'm just grateful for the experience, what I've learned from it. I'm grateful to get closer to my man Bad Mind. We got really pretty close through it, and I'm grateful for it. And so it was a crazy project. Took years to do, like everything, but I'm glad we're where we ended up with it.
Also, just backtracking a little bit, when Tyler and I were talking about the release plan for our new EP, we were talking about what we could do beforehand to kind of get people interested, since we were a bit quiet for a little bit. So we were talking about it. We were like, listen, the reception of Where Have You Been when we just perform it live is really great, and we think it would be a really good idea to release it. And I called it lubing up the algorithm because we kind of wanted just a little something that felt familiar. And
I think we didn't plan on, we wrote the EP, we didn't plan on writing cover first. We just think it'd take a little longer, things late just happens, and we just realized like maybe it'd be a good idea to like, let's just release this as a way, as you said, like move up the algorithm, introduce people to the new sound, like kind of what we have to present. Who we are now as people, because I guess like the music in general, like you grow, you change. Those first few songs we wrote together, we were like 15, 16. I wrote some of those demos. 25 now, so I definitely grew as a person in almost 10 years. So like, it was a way to like introduce like this new phase of who we are.
Yeah, we didn't want it to feel like a crazy drastic change, and then we also felt like making it a collaborative effort would just be so fun and bring so many new eyes to the project as well. And just it's like if we do something, like we would love to benefit somebody else in the scene. So I don't know, it just felt like a really great collaborative effort. It wouldn't have been the same without Bad Mind.
Right, no, yeah. I definitely think that like that was that whole punk goes pop angle on it, like, definitely didn't work, and people are really receptive to that. Like I grew up on those songs. There's a lot of those punk goes pop songs were awesome. The way people just put a spin on it, some people are familiar with, like taking like those pop hooks and adding their metal or rock or punk, pop punk element to it. Like, I've always really loved that. It's like a fun way to like also introduce people who aren't really into the genre of metal. Like it's a way to like introduce them into heavy music. I have people that I've showed the songs to friends of mine are like, dude, I don't really like heavy vocals, but like I enjoyed that song. Yeah, it's kind of cool,
And my grandma said she cried. So and my grandma cried to our metal cover of Where Have You Been by Rihanna. So that's how you know. That's how you know it's good. With this one, it was pretty easy with Bad Mind because he kind of has a similar sound to us, / he's very moldable. So he kind of fits in wherever you put him, which is really great. But I guess like maintaining our sound. Well, also just in general, we love to have a sound that I like to call very digestible. So it's not too harsh and like still has those like poppy elements, and everyone can kind of listen to it. Which I love, and like especially when we're performing in front of our friends and stuff who have zero interest in being at a metal show, other than like to support us or anything. I can see them vibing, I can see them rocking out, and that really inspires me because we just want to reach a pretty broad audience. Like, we don't want to be too niche where people don't understand us. We want everybody to understand our message. So
I think also thing too is I've realized like music and creativity in general is it's kind of what you put out is, and if you're just authentic and create authentically what you want to create, it'll work. I used to go into things and go into songs and projects and I wanted to sound like this, and I kind of realized the best thing I could do for someone else or for the audience, for myself, is just to make things that feel true to who I am. And so I think kind of just like staying true to what you want to create is the best thing you can do for the audience and yourself as an artist. And I kind of always said, like, when we write songs, we do this for a long time now. When we create as a unit, I realized what makes something sound like in a certain song is just when the three of us write a song together. So I kind of shedded that mold of like trying to sound a certain way, because when we just get together in the room and write a song, every time it sounds like an uncertain song. And it's just a testament to like, just write what you want to write. Be who you want to be, create what you want to create. That outcome is gonna create an authentic product. And I think when we collaborated with Bad Mind, it was like we came to the studio, we're like, all right, hop on the verse, and I'm pretty sure the first thing he laid down was the cadence and style we kind of kept, and he did his thing. And I think the best thing you can do in life and as an artist is just collaborate. And the point of collaboration is bringing the different perspectives. And so it's like he did his thing, we did our thing. The uncertain sounded like the uncertain, Bad Mind sounded like Bad Mind, and we sounded better together. You know what I mean?
yeah. Also, I guess the key is finding people who are passionate about collaborating as well and are good collaborators as well. So, you know, if you're out here working with people who very clearly don't want to collaborate, then it's not gonna work out.
Oh yeah.
Oh, all the
Like I
time.
said, it's a big thing. In life in general, all you have in life really is the connections you make with people you meet. Like in this world, like that's what you leave behind. The people you come in contact with, the stories you shared with them. And so with our EP, at least we have a couple features and collabs on our EP, because I genuinely love writing stuff, saying like, hey, like you want to pour your spin on this, or you want to add something to this, like anything in life. Like when people come together, it's but it's for the greater good usually when you have different parts coming together for a song. I think kind of just to go off what I was saying before is like the evolution is just we get older, we have different life experiences. The music I create is just purely off of like where we are in life, and it's like anything you create in this world, it's just a reflection of who you are and the people you've met, the experiences you've had. And so I think our new record that we've been working on it's a testament to like where we were at that point in our lives. And so it's like I said, it's a reflection of who you are. I guess our influence is just experiences we've had, and we take that and we get in the room and we let out our emotions and the things maybe we didn't want to say to each other, but we can just say through music, you know.
Well, I actually kind of jumping off of that, I think a testament to the fact that even though we wrote these songs like 3 years ago, they really hold up now. Like, I have lived 10 lives since we wrote those songs, and since those songs have evolved into what they are now. And I listen to these songs now and I have a completely different perspective on them and still relate to them, which I think is so great and amazing. And I, after 3 years, am still not tired of them. So I think that's super great, and that's what I'm so excited about, is that in like different eras of your life, you can still connect to all of these songs.
Yeah. Like hoping there's like an evergreen message in what we create.
Yeah. And they're not very like general, I would say, but you can still connect to them at different phases in your life.
I think one of the biggest things I've learned is just in life in general, what I've been going through, I guess, and experience, how I'm choosing to experience life, is that like what I was saying before, not attaching yourself to a certain outcome or putting too much pressure on what is to come. It's just kind of just learning to be authentic, be in the moment, and just let life be what life is going to be in that moment. And I think treating everything in my life that way. A lot of that I got from I read Rick Rubin's book, The Creative Act. It's a really great book for any artist who wants to read that. And he kind of just explains that, like, just be authentic, be who you want to be, create what you want to create, and then what's supposed to be will be the outcome. You know what I mean? And so I think I've loosened the reins on how tightly I attach myself to a certain outcome of something, and I realize what is supposed to come is what will come. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think one of the hurdles that we kind of had to jump over while from the beginning and to now is, once again, like, to not really harp on anything. We were such sticklers of harping on things and like trying to make things work. And it's, you write something, you write a demo and you're like, this is it, this is the song. And then you go into the studio and it doesn't, and it's just not working. And it's, you know, because maybe like while you're collaborating with people, the vision changes, whatever. And just being way too like rigid will really never get you anywhere. You kind of have to understand that, you know, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Let's move on. Or if this thing doesn't work, let's just try something else. Like
maybe that doesn't work for us. Maybe it's just like, maybe that's just what it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? And it's not to say I'm not taking a passive approach. I'm just saying, in life, sometimes you gotta just put things out there, and what's supposed to come of it is what will come of it. You know what I mean? And not being too focused on like, hey, I want to do this thing. Well, maybe it doesn't do that thing. You know what I mean?
I think that's such an important mindset too, because you have to keep evolving as an artist. Right. You can't sit still. Everything is constantly changing. Even just the world of production is changing. The world of social media. So to be able to say that to yourself and just like, you know what, it's just constantly moving. You have to be open to trying new things, not standing still.
I think it just comes getting older and experiencing life. I feel like when I was a kid, because I've always been into music, and I used to hate when I was a kid and someone would release an album and the next album would sound nothing like the previous album. I'm like, why did they do what they did in the last album? Then I kind of realized as I got older, it's like, well, they already wrote that album, and they changed as people, and they have different things to say, and that's why this new album sounds different. You know what I mean? It's kind of just a testament of just growing up, getting older, and experiencing life, and realizing you can't just do the same thing twice. Like, if you have something to say, it's going to be something different. Like, I want to leave something in this world, say something that reflects who I actually am, and so not just regurgitating the same thing. You know what I mean? So I've definitely grown in that aspect of I appreciate when an artist puts out authentic things that don't sound like their last thing. That's the point of art. You know what I mean? Like it's a way to like, you know, show who you are in that time of your life.
But how do you think you keep the audience engaged when you do that? Because like you said, remember you when you were younger, you were like, oh, I hate it. Why did they?
Yeah. I mean, I think I was just like a naive kid. But I think what we were kind of saying is like what we kind of realized is, I think my mindset was I was attaching myself too much to the specific sound of that piece of art and not like who these artists are, because that artist is always going to sound like that artist. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be their voice, their cadence, their rhythm to a degree. You know? And I realized like, you know, certain sounds like against certain when we just create authentic music. Like that's what we sound like. You know what I mean? And it's a maturity thing. I've matured, and my perspective on that is that you'll sound like you and just be authentic, and that's the best thing you can do for yourself and for the audience. You know what I mean?
I totally agree with that. I think it's like, no, I think that's kind of like a little bit of a difficult question to answer, because we are in a phase right now where we are trying to figure out who our audience is. And this is, you know, yes, we released 5 songs before, but those 5 songs, we did not know what we were doing whatsoever. That was like throwing what we can to the wall and seeing what sticks.
We were learning how to work for each other at that time.
Yeah, we were learning how to work with each other.
We met up, we wrote 5 songs, released those 5 songs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the years in between, we just kind of learned from that, figured out like what works together. You know?
Yeah, those were like a really big learning experience. And then now we've kind of, you know, our music took a little bit of time to perfect and finally get to a point where we can finally release it. And even from there, it took us a really long time to understand who are we, how do we want to plan this rollout, what is the best way to do this in a way where people will be engaged throughout, where a story will be told. So I think another thing is just taking your time. The music will come out when it comes out. Don't start getting stressed about, this is one thing we had to learn, is we were sitting there and we were like, oh, I'm so annoyed that like the music isn't coming out. Like I'm getting antsy. But it's like, when you're sitting there and just being a ball of anxiety of I'm so annoyed, rather than like taking it and doing something with that time that you have, which is exactly what we decided to do, is like release a cover during that time, make content, play shows, do other things that are worth it with our time, is really, really important. Yeah, exactly. Never stay stagnant. Even if you're not releasing anything, keep doing things. Like our songs originally, when we were waiting on our masters, they were just songs with me on them. We decided to take that time to find people who are really good, and put them on, like collaborate with them, put features on the songs.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, release the covers. Like this rollout would have been absolutely nothing with them. We took the time to bank content. Like everything that we have rolling out has been pre-filmed a year ago, you know? So it's like, we have a plan. Use your time wisely. Don't just be a bottle of anxiety, which I need to take that advice a lot.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, the truth is, like, in any endeavor in life, if you take it seriously and you want to give your best to it, you're always going to be doing something. There's always something to do. You know what I mean? So the clock's always ticking. There's always something you can do to further yourself and your art and what you're putting out to the world. You know what I mean?
Have you been all my life?
Okay, that's good. Alright, this is a random pick, but the song Pittsburgh by the Amity Affliction was one of the first metalcore songs I heard. My brother showed it to me. And I used to put that song on repeat. I was like, this is incredible. Like the way the clean vocals mesh with the harsh vocals and the production. That was one of the first like down the barrel metalcore songs I heard, and I'm like, this is dope. And that kind of was my gateway into metalcore music. Because I grew up on like heavy music, like post-hardcore, early metal, heavy metal, like dad rock. And then that was my first, I guess, gateway into that metalcore sound. So I would definitely go with Pittsburgh, the no intro version from The Affliction. That definitely shapes the way I approach music, and like I can hear metalcore music.
Oh gosh. I mean, I have a very versatile music taste, but oh my gosh, I like really don't know. Honestly, like one of my biggest influences when I was younger was Panic at the Disco. I absolutely loved everything, especially the first album. The song But It's Better If You Do is like one of my favorite songs of all time. And I always really loved the fact that they had a storyline, they had a concept, everything was connected to each other. Their music always seemed so tongue-in-cheek and like thought out.
Conceptual to a degree.
Yeah, everything had a concept, everything was conceptual, and that has always inspired me. I also obviously loved the aesthetic that they provided. It was exactly what I wanted to be when I grow up, but never had the courage when I was younger, so I kind of just like listened to it in secret. And yeah, I just love like the storytelling aspect of Panic at the Disco, always. I was such a theater kid, and I love the theatrical nature of everything they had to offer. They were the perfect, like, that genre-bending band that I absolutely loved.
We just dropped this cover, Where Have You Been by Rihanna. It's super dope. We've spun it on its head. Funko's Pop version with our man Bad Mind. Go stream that. Check the video out. Daniel's visuals and that. They killed that video. We put a lot into that one.
Yeah, we put so much work into that.
Like 7 days of shooting, but it came out incredible.
More like 4 months of shooting at this point.
Well, it was like 7 full days worth.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
we put a lot into that one. I love the product. Yeah, that's like kind of our gateway into our new sound, our new EP. It's called Machine. It's rolling out soon. Our first single's coming out in October off that record. So definitely stick around. I promise you, we have a lot coming. We have a lot to give the world. We have some big shows coming up that we're planning, something really cool in October, so stick around for that.
Yeah.
And,
well, October 3rd, we're playing Sultan Room.
October 3rd, Sultan Room.
With Added Color.
Added Color, that's going to be a dope show. Yeah, we're back on the gas. We took some time to, like, figure ourselves out, figure our shit out, and we got a lot coming. We're excited. Like, we're on the gas. So,
yeah.
see you guys soon.
Thank you.